Hello and welcome to Indian Standard Time. I'm Siddharth Varadarajan. I'm joined today by Ambassador Hamza Yahia Cherif, Ambassador of Algeria. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Algeria is, of course, the largest country in Africa now. Now that Sudan, after the partition of Sudan, but its location, its natural resources, and above all, the kind of political role that Algeria has played in North Africa and the African region and the Arab world as a whole makes it a country that is very special and important for India. Let's start by reviewing the history or the background of the bilateral relationship between India and Algeria. Now, the relationship goes well before or well beyond 1962 when Algeria became independent, right?
Thank you very much. I would like first to thank the team of Raja Sabha TV for giving me this opportunity and honor to appear on your TV. If I come back to the history, I would like to say that Jawaharlal Nehru met for the first time the Algerian people, and we would say diplomats, in the conference, Bandung conference in Indonesia. And from that time, continuous support to the great Algerian revolution of 1st November 54. We had always witnessed support until our independence in 1962. I would like to mention also that previous prime ministers of India, late Indira Gandhi, late Rajiv Gandhi, went at least twice to Algeria. And my head of state has been the first ever Arab head of state to be invited as a chief guest of the first 26 January, the Republic Day. Yeah. This
so we're talking to President Abdulaziz Bouteflika in 2001. Exactly. Yes. Was the chief guest for the Republic Day.
Exactly. And at that time, it was the BJP who was.
That's right.
And the power.
Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the.
Exactly. And Excellency Vajpayee was Prime Minister. This will let you see and witness that whatever is the color of the power in India and whatever is the color of the leader in Nigeria, India and Algeria are always together. Always together for bilaterals, and we are not happy because we could and we should do much better in terms of economic.
So the political relationship predates independence, as you said. When Algeria becomes independent, there is immediate establishment of diplomatic relations, and of course, Indira Gandhi visits Algiers. And very good relationship between President Boumediene at the time, Indira Gandhi, and of course subsequently. But politics only takes you so far. Ultimately, goodwill is important, but it's the economic relationship between two countries that is often decisive.
Yeah.
Now, Algeria is, of course, blessed with many resources. But it's the hydrocarbon sector that is the dominant one. Yeah. And India had been importing quite a bit of hydrocarbons from Algeria. At its peak, I think India-Algeria trade was about $3 billion.
Yeah.
But now it's come down to a little over $2 billion. Are you satisfied with the what we are doing economically? Is there scope to expand and take things perhaps beyond oil and gas?
I think honest ambassador would say that no, I'm not satisfied. Why? I will give you just a figure. We are now running by an economic plan of development. Its budget is $260 billion to develop all infrastructure of all sectors, just name it. Seaport, airport, road, housing, school.
So this is $260 billion that the government of Algeria is allocating.
Yes.
For infrastructure across all sectors in the country.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I am seeing a lot of countries, I would say a lot of enterprises coming from a lot of countries. Very few in India. Just few hundreds of houses houses have been built by Indian enterprises. So if now we want to talk about economic diplomacy, it's time. It's really time that the two countries who enjoyed in the history a very good political relation, now politics must defend the economic rights of our people, and we do share so many values,
Right.
so many things. So why not now try to bring our enterprises together, investment here or there. Let's the business talk to business. And now you are giving me opportunity to announce that just 3-4 days before, we have launched the creation of India-Algeria Economic Cooperation Council. It's now the first steps of that. I hope that this will be able to bring the enterprises together.
Indian companies are active in the Arab world,
Yeah.
in infrastructure projects,
Yeah.
EIL or OVL,
Yeah.
GAIL.
Yeah.
Why is it that, I know that in Libya before the turmoil, Indian companies were very active, road and rail construction.
Yeah.
Why is it that in Algeria this hasn't taken off? Is it, is it lack of information? Is it maybe because the public sector is not able to and private companies need to get involved? What's the obstacle here?
I will tell you, according to my point of view, there is 3 obstacles.
Okay.
First of all is that after our independence, both of the two countries did choose the centralized system and I would say socialist system to run the economies.
So with a heavy public sector.
Heavy public sector. Now things, even if the staff has changed, mind is there. That's why everything takes time in both countries. This is one thing. Second thing is a lack of information due to the language communication. We do speak Arabic and French, less English. The Indians are not, they are doing well in the Middle East because they do speak English over that area. But also, and there is something which is hidden, this third thing is for me the most important. What is it? Is that some interests are not happy to see India going there.
Aha, like which are these interests?
Yes, when I say interests, it's of course foreign interest.
Right.
As a diplomat, I am not in position to tell you which countries.
Of course.
But you can definitely guess that, of course, for some countries, it's not, because the cake is 100. They want to eat the 100th piece of this cake.
Yeah.
But if India will take only 1%, it means that they will be losing 1% from the cake.
Right.
This is my message.
Right.
To Indian enterprise.
So Indian enterprises need to be more proactive. They need to be more adventurous
Yes.
in looking for opportunities in Algeria.
Yes.
On the trade front, I know that Indian motor cars, Maruti, for example, is quite popular. I mean, Algeria is a major export destination for Indian cars. Is that
Yes.
the case?
You can talk about Maruti, but I have a better example. It's Sonalika,
Okay.
which is doing tractors in the western part of Algeria, the city of Sidi Bel Abbas. And Sonalika did export 400 tractors 10 years back. Now they are in more than 5,000. And now we are in joint venture with a private company to assemble and to build the tractors, even to produce some spare parts.
Right.
And when I say tractors, it means it's for agriculture, and agriculture is feeding people. So now more than 20,000 farmers are working with India through Sonalika. This is an example. And I like this job done by Sonalika. Why? Because they do not content just to work, but they are giving training to our staff there to let them within few years in position to produce their own tractors.
Right.
This is exactly the non-alignment of economic field.
So the technology gets transferred and Algeria has an asset which it can use by itself.
Exactly.
On that note, I have to take a break. When we come back, we will discuss, of course, the India-Africa Summit and the big question of the role of non-alignment in the world today. Do keep watching. Welcome back. You're watching IST, and my guest today is Ambassador Hamza Yahia Cherif, Ambassador of Algeria. Welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you.
So far, we've limited our discussion to the bilateral relationship. And I want you to put on your hat as an African diplomat, as an African public personality, and tell us, in your view, why the relationship with India is important for Africa. What is it that India can offer Africa that perhaps it cannot get elsewhere?
Yes. So, first of all, Africa and India did start from the very beginning of their relations a very important common value. This value is fighting colonialism. So, a lot of countries did get their independence after the independence of Algeria. And India has always been with the Algerian Revolution until its end, until the independence of the country. Now, the challenges are in the economic field. India could get whatever it wants in Africa. What Africa is expecting from India is, of course, investment, developing, but it's also, we need Africa to fight with us, because we were considering that non-alignment should not be anymore there. There is only one pole, it's the Western countries. But now we are seeing that the defense must be on the economic. The defense of the interest is now in the economic field. And on that basis, we do share so many interests, common interests.
So you're saying that if earlier non-alignment or India-Africa relations had a large element of political solidarity, today the challenge is of economic cooperation, economic solidarity. Right? You're saying that's the essence of it, and essentially in the sphere of technology, maybe IT, maybe human resource development. Is there something that is attractive about India in particular?
Yes, the three sectors you just named, technology and development of human resource, are very important for us to be able to exploit our energy, our resources, to develop, to produce, and to export.
Right.
Let me tell you that the great leader, the founder of the nation in India, has started his political struggle against colonialism and injustice in the soil of Africa. So let's now come back to that values. Maybe we are called to refresh them, because the challenges are slightly different.
Right.
So to say that non-alignment is no more there.
Yes.
In the political field, I may be sure. I'm not convinced, but I may be sure. But in the economic, it's now time.
Right.
For non-alignment countries to meet to defend themselves.
And the irony is that the West, which advises us about abandoning non-alignment, is itself busy creating new alliances in the economics field. We recently saw the announcement of the TTP, the Trans-Pacific Alliance. There's negotiations for creating a new trading blocks across the Atlantic region, all of which would make life difficult for countries in Africa, other developing countries like India. And I think all the more reason why, in a sense, the African countries and India need to explore the possibilities of economic cooperation.
Yes, it has always been through history the philosophy of West to divide us, because by dividing us, they can eat us step by step. But I do remember that in some countries, they have a motto which says, united we stand. So now for our economic rights, we have to be united.
Right. And what's interesting and quite remarkable about Algeria, if we look at slightly at the regional question in North Africa, is that Algeria in a way has been a pillar of stability in the last decade. Right? We've seen turmoil in Egypt, in Libya, in Tunisia, to the south of you in Mali. Yet Algeria has not only remained stable politically, but you've also managed to play a role in diffusing some of the regional crises.
Yes. Why? Because in the 90s, we had faced this phenomena which is called terrorism, and billions have been spent for nothing.
This is the problem with FIS.
Exactly.
FIS, yeah.
With the Islamists, more than 200,000 lives were lost. This has sent us to look on our inside. And President Bouteflika came with the great proposal of national reconciliation, which permitted stability of the country, stability which now give us chance to develop socially and economically the country. I was just mentioning that this plan is the third of this kind of plans. The three plans were over 200 billion each, just to develop. We have come to know that terrorism, it's not a game which we play with. So by having this experience fighting terrorism, we did play a major role to stabilize the neighboring country, Mali. And we are also contributing to stabilize the neighboring country, Libya. Right. Because so many do not have interest to see our area stabilized, because without stability you cannot develop economically or socially your country.
How worried is Algeria by the growing threat posed by the so-called Islamic State, by Daesh?
Yes, I think...
Any manifestations of its presence in Algeria or in the region, in your immediate region, that particularly bother you?
It's not a manifestation as we used to see in some other countries. But you know, terrorism are channels. And hopefully I am now in talks with the Indian government to establish a cooperation on this field.
In counter-terrorism?
Counter-terrorism. Because countering terrorism is the manner. And even the terrorists are different, whether the target is the same, is to kill innocent people. Right. But the experience are slightly different, and we can't complete each other.
We know that some of the Algerian diaspora in France has been susceptible to extremist ideology.
Okay.
What's the reason for that? Why? I mean, is this something that worries you, and is there a danger that these influences may come back to Algeria through France?
No, you know, colonialism is something which will not let you, I mean, in happy and quiet, because his target is always to come back to such beautiful country. So it's through media, through some people who are not really aware about the history. They try to influence mainly young generation. But fortunately enough, you were mentioning that the turmoils in neighboring countries like Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria stayed stable because we have identified our enemies, not only terrorism or people behind, but also other enemies who have no interest to see Algeria stabilized.
We don't have much time, but I just want to ask you a last question. One of the lingering problems from your region is the problem of Western Sahara. Are you hopeful that in the future, in the next few years, there may be some progress on this question?
Yes, thank you for this question, because the Sahrawi used to have an embassy,
in India, that's right.
Full-fledged ambassador here. Why? Because colonialism is something very important for the Constitution of India and for the Indian society. And due to some reasons, India is no more recognizing these people, who is our neighbor. And it's a people who is just fighting for its independence, or at least for a referendum giving him the right to express itself. The issue now is between the hand of the Security Council of UN, where India is aspiring to be a member. So this is a matter of colonialism. So how Indians are looking to that issue. Now, they have to see. And this,
so this is one issue which Algeria will raise with India in the future.
Of course, not only with India, it's with UN and with India, because even the summit, in the first paragraph of the Delhi Declaration, it says that Africa and India, or India and Africa, expressed their solidarity against colonialism. And this issue,
this is a lingering problem.
You like it,
right.
Yes. This issue of Western Sahara, you like it or no, it's a matter of decolonization in the UN Security Council.
On that note, we will have to end it. Thank you very much for joining us on RSTV.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Well, that wraps up this episode of IST. Do join us again later with another guest.